Well, good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? It's Monday, and I am in the kitchen preparing a meal for us and to take to a friend. So it's zucchini lasagna. I don't know if you've made that. I have made it before, but it's been a while. So the first thing I did, you see here, is I don't have one of those fancy things that you do the zucchini with. So here we go. You don't use this end. You don't use the one, and you don't use this one. So you pull out those with the skin on them because it just said to do that in the recipe. So that's what I'm doing. But so here's what I've got, and I need another. All right, I got it right here. All right, so I've got some prosciutto, as the girl in the recipe said. I'm going to use a little of that, but then in addition to the prosciutto, I'm going to use ham. This is boar's head ham, and the reason is prosciutto is really salty, and I don't like that really salty thing. So here we go. I've got a pan, just a loaf pan, and I have put my parchment paper, and I've sprayed it with some olive oil, okay? Actually, they have theirs going. Let me turn this where you can see what I'm doing. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? They had theirs going this way, so I think I'm going to do mine this way too. Yeah. All right, so there we go like that. So I'm going to dump. What this is it's, so the recipe calls for breadcrumbs, but you know, we don't use breadcrumbs. So this is about a cup of almond flour. You see this? I use that super fine blanched almond flour, and about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and then it's got a half teaspoon of garlic salt, onion powder, paprika. Write these things down. I am going to be sharing this video in email tomorrow. A little bit of Italian seasoning, some parsley flakes, and some red chili peppers. All right, and so I'm going to start with, I'm going to dust the bottom of this pan with a little bit of this mixture, okay? So I'm just doing that like that. And then I'm going to lay the zucchini in there. Just kind of line the pan with the zucchini, just like that. Okay, that one piece wasn't so great, so I'm just going to, I don't know. That's my oven. Oven at 350, so it's getting ready. All right, and then I'm going to put a piece of the prosciutto. So I'm just going to peel that off. Could you see that? I couldn't tell if you could see it or not. So one piece. She had kind of doubled it up, but, well, that's actually two pieces. You see how thin? That's what this is. Prosciutto is just a really thin sliced ham. So I see now I've got several layers, so I'm not going to put all of those layers. I'm going to try to separate them out. I think that's what makes it manageable, is you don't have multiple layers. All right, so there you go, right there. All right, and then you put mozzarella cheese. So I'm going to put some mozzarella. That's going to be about 3/4 of a cup right there. And then here's what I'm doing different that was not in the recipe is, hold on, let me get something to dip with here. Here we go. I love this Newman's Own Zucchini. You can use, what's that real expensive one, but I just think it's way overrated. All right. So I'm just going to use, I like Paul Newman's Zucchini. So I'm going to put about a half a cup, a little bit more than that. I don't want it real, too much of that, but I do want, and that smells really good. I like Paul Newman's brand. All right, and then let's see what goes on top of that. All right, so that's good. And then we'll start again. Oh, I know what I did wrong. The recipe said to dredge the zucchini in the mixture. That's what I didn't do. Y'all gonna laugh at me. I mean, I just practicing, like practicing medicine. I'm practicing cooking. All right, so I'm gonna put another piece of zucchini. This one's dredged pretty good. I think if I dipped the zucchini in egg, it probably would do a lot better. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle that there. And there's one more little piece of zucchini. All right, and then I'm gonna come with just the regular ham instead of more prosciutto. And the reason is because I just think the prosciutto is really too salty if you put too much of it. So there we go. So I'm just gonna fold, you see I'm folding over this ham. And this was boar's head. The reason I buy boar's head is that it has less nitrates in it, okay? Just gonna fold that over like that. And then what's next, y'all? I'm gonna put, more mozzarella cheese. So you're supposed to put like a total of 8 ounces, but I'm probably gonna put a total of 12 ounces. You know me, you can't ever have too much cheese. And I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more of this, because this is the seasoning is in here. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more of that in there. And then here we go with some more sauce. Not too much, but you know, enough to make it lasagna. So I guess I put a total of about 1.5 cups of sauce in there. So we'll see when it cooks out how it turns out. And then I think I'm gonna top it with mozzarella, just because I love that baked cheesy top. Don't y'all? Don't you love that baked cheesy top? So there we go, more mozzarella. And I'm about to stick this in the oven. So how much simpler can it get than that? And that's heavy. So here we've got, you know, we got protein, we got, whoop, sorry about that, y'all. Well, I just dropped you on the floor. Are you okay? All right, I'm opening up the oven. You know, when I get on the phone with people, like they're getting ready to sign up for that program, here's what they say. I love the way you cook. And I'm like, well, do you like the way I dropped the phone on the floor? Oh, wasn't planning to do that. But anyway, that's going to take about 25 to 30 minutes. So obviously, I'm not going to keep you on here that long. But I just got off the phone with a really good friend, childhood friend growing up. And here's what she's saying. She's 71. And she said, I feel like I'm getting weaker. And here's what I want to say. That's not just a feeling. I'm 69. She was a year older than me. I'm 69. And I felt like at 65, I was getting weaker, okay? Because I had a major surgery. I had a bladder work done, that sling thing, and I had a hysterectomy because I found out I had the BRCA2 gene. And so I'm like, well, yeah, go ahead and take that out while you're in there. And they fixed that, and I've had a great results with that bladder thing. But after that, I realized how weak I was from 12 weeks of recumbency because I was determined not to pull that loose like my mama had done when I was in college. And so, and that's when I realized how weak I was getting. So after 60, here's what happens. You fall off as far as muscle strength. You just start losing your strength. It's just the facts, okay? It's not my opinion. If you're over 60 and you're not exercising, you're the best you're going to be today. Today is your strongest day, and after today, you're going downhill. I mean, you're literally losing strength every day. So this is for you if you're losing strength. And here's what she said to me. I just want to get stronger. And I'm like, well, there's more to that than just exercise. There's more to getting stronger at 70 or 65 than just exercise. And walking will not get it done. It just won't. Let me set my timer here. Excuse me. 25 minutes. There we go. Everybody can walk, but not everybody can be strong. And so I see people walking. I'm like, you're the same strength you were a year ago, and you're walking 5 miles? I mean, I think that's good. I'm not knocking that. I think that's good that you're out getting fresh air and doing all that, but it's not getting you stronger. It's not helping. And doing upper body workouts, curls. My husband's a perfect example. He was doing a lot of upper body work, and he was strong. But the last time he climbed up on a ladder, I'm like, we're not going to do that anymore. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, I can tell you're not secure. Your hips are not strong. He said, yeah, I know. And he started doing some strength training for his hips. And he's like, I can tell a big difference just getting in and out of the vehicle, coming up and down the stairs, taking the trash to the dump, all the things, playing golf, whatever. So you got to know what to do. And yes, exercise is important. Strength training is important. And here's what she said to me. I've fallen 6 times. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the big risk. As a physical therapist working in physical therapy, Medicare puts a lot of money toward fall prevention. They give us a lot of leeway as far as fall prevention as a regimen, because a fall, here's the 5 F's for females over 50. I got let me wipe my hand off. I've got Parmesan cheese on my hand. I don't want to hold. All right, let me get it off. All right, here we go. By the way, I got to show y'all something. Look at this. Look at that. She's finally blooming. Yep, she's finally blooming. Isn't she beautiful? Can't say too much for the the hydrangeas. The heat is really getting to them. But she's finally blooming. Okay. I hope you got one of those if you've got a yard where you can have one. Okay. Where was I going? Okay, so strength training is good, but there are other things that you have to do to go along with it. You have to get adequate protein, and you have to know the amount. You can't slack on it. 30, 40 grams is not going to be enough. You have to take creatine to build muscle. Your body made creatine up until you were about 60, and now it's not making that anymore. That's why you're losing strength. You need some estrogen, okay? We do talk about that a lot, okay? You need some good sleep. I mean, you can build muscle without getting good sleep, but having inflammatory processes going on in your body is going to keep your body from building muscle, okay? And you need the creatine for your brain. Exercise and building strength and getting oxygen flowing through your body. That's one good thing about walking. You do get oxygen flowing through your body, but strength training and resistance training and sprint training is what's going to get you there. All right, so I want to hear from you. I'm going to be starting a new challenge actually next Monday. So I'm going to be doing some training this week. That's my plan. I kind of hate to put it out there because I don't really have a plan for the 4th, and I don't think I'm going to have one. So I'm probably going to do it on like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. But it's going to be some more specific training to kind of let you know kind of what's ahead. All right. So, but if I don't have your email, you need to put email in the comments so I can send you the link to join my email group, because I'm going to send an email out tomorrow with this recipe, okay? So I hope you'll give me your email, because I also am sending out some additional, you're going to get a series over the next 6 months of emails from me about brain health for women, about muscle building, about protein, about hormones, about, supplements, about all the things, okay? So thank y'all for joining me. Hey, Becky. Hey, Anastasia, Nancy, Julia, Lorraine, Debbie, Joyce, Linda, Carolyn, Marianne, Sandy. Thank y'all for joining me. Let me know where you're watching from. It just floats my boat to hop on here and see, all the different places in our wonderful country. And after all, we're celebrating 250 years as a country that is, founded on biblical principles and has operated that way, and we want to continue to operate that way. So thank y'all for joining me, and I'll pop back on in a few minutes and show you the results of this. How about that? All right. So, and here's the thing, you could have used beef in that. I could have put, just like I could have made up like a spaghetti sauce, with the beef and in fact, I think I might do that for this other one instead of the ham. I'd rather have the beef. You could have done turkey, you could have done chicken, and just made it like, and do it like you do normal lasagna. But I didn't buy but one zucchini. What was I thinking? But I'll manage. If I go to the store in a little while, I'll get one. Okay, y'all have a good day. You're from, all right, so Connecticut. Awesome. Let's see if I can see some more. Don't see any more locations yet, but I always love that. Okay, I hope y'all have a good day. Let me know what you're making space for in your life, okay? I love to ask that question because it gets people thinking. You know, if you don't go within, you're going to go without. And going within means thinking about, what am I making space for? Am I making space for resentment, for jealousy, for strife, for envy, all those negative things that, you know, what you focus on grows, and where your focus goes, your energy flows. And if you're focusing on what's not working and what's negative, you're not going to go forward. You're going to get sucked into the vortex. Hey, Sheila from North Carolina. I have some very, very, very dear family members that are in Charlotte and, North Carolina and South Carolina. I'm trying to think of that. Oh, let's see. Rock Hill. That's where they are. Yeah. Okay, so thank y'all for watching, and I'll pop back on in a few minutes and let you see the results.